the raise your age policy does affect the juveniles that we come into contact with. And now at this point in time, starting January 1st, I believe, 2021, juveniles under 17 years old will no longer be sent to jail, no matter the consequence, unless it's a certifiable offense. They will come to juvenile detention. And so that affects us because we have to then revamp our situations because a 17-year-old is much different than a 12-year-old as far as the spectrum goes, as far as juveniles go. So as our program working, we have to navigate from that aspect as far as stratifying our system. The county in Greene County just voted to raise taxes, so that gives us a budget increase. We've put in our budget for new cameras. We were getting a new facility, hiring more DJOs to better assist with the juveniles that we plan to take in. And then how does this agency use evidence-based research to inform, improve practice, policy, and/or service delivery? We have Rachel, who is our research analyst. She is our internal agent. She kind of combs through the organization or the facility, if you will, and just look at ways to improve our service delivery, improve staff morale, anything like that. She's our go-to. She's the one that crunches the number and comes up with the data and presents it to the facility as a whole. So as we get into engagement, my first client is TM. For reasons of HIPAA that we have to comply with, I'll use TM as this. He was a 15-year-old African-American male. He come from a single-parent home. He moved to Springfield from St. Louis about 2 years ago. He was roughly 5'5", about 120 pounds, so a fairly decent-sized kid. He was ordered to come to the office, so he wasn't a voluntary client. The judge had placed him on probation, so he had to engage with me per the judge's orders. When I engaged his youth, I had the opportunity to read a little bit about him from the backstory and through his file, and I found that he was from St. Louis, and being that Springfield is such a different area from St. Louis, I thought that was a way to reach him. So I immediately, when I sat down with this teen, I got to talking to him because this could be a new environment. He was the only black kid in an office full of white people. So I thought that the best way to reach this kid was to share with him where I'm from and where I come from. So I like to use the narrative theory in that regard because it gives them something to relate to. It gives them somebody to connect with, and it gives them a reason to feel more comfortable and feel more open and feel like they maybe can get something out of this situation. And while I was engaged with him, we really didn't have any problems as far as my end go. He was just kind of irate, didn't really want to talk. He was just kind of yelling, starting to get aggressive, and I could see the situation leading to him being restrained. In my natural calm demeanor, I just kind of stepped in because I take a little more pride in helping the black kids in Springfield just because we are the minority, and the public relations between the black community and law enforcement, that there needs to be a filter between the two at this current time. And I just felt like, given my particular role and as far as social work goes on the spectrum with criminal justice, I fit that role perfectly for that particular situation, and that's how I chose to help this individual. As far as assessment tools go that our office uses, we have the risk assessment, which assesses what the juvenile is at risk for. In this case, we're going to switch to RH because I wasn't able to administer the risk assessment on TM for various reasons. But RH, I was allowed to sit in and kind of do the rough draft of the risk assessment. RH scored a 10, which is a very high score, which means he's at risk for a lot of things, as far as like substance abuse, educational neglect, parental management style. He just indicated that he had problems and he needed to be assessed further. We also have the needs assessment, which assesses what the juvenile needs in his life. in RH in this category scored a 12, which is another high number. He scored a high number because he needed help with peer relations, mental health, substance abuse, school, employment, parental responsibilities, things of that nature. He didn't have a really positive social system.